the shortest team.
All right, we would like to welcome New York Golf Club into the Media Center here at TGL, presented by SoFi. We're going to go ahead and get started with Xander Schauffele. Xander, can you talk a little bit about your experience today out on the turf?
That was as bad as it could have possibly gone for the New York Golf Club today. So, bummer to let my boys down here, and it was a rough go. You know, I heard a couple boos in the crowd when I duffed my chip there, so it was definitely motivated to do a little better next time.
And Matt, this is obviously a new experience for you all. What did you take away from this, and what can you guys improve for your next match?
Everything.
Yeah, I was going to say the list is very long. Yeah, it was obviously very different. It's no one's done anything like this. I think getting used to the simulator, the shots where you got to hit it, I think I need to figure that out a little bit more. But yeah, it was a tough evening.
And Rickie, obviously your teammates talked a little bit about the negative side of things, but can you talk about what you took away from this experience and how fun it was?
Yeah, other than the fact of, we were on the receiving end tonight. Yeah, set that aside, but it's really cool, walking into an arena and doing what we got to do there. Yeah, we all wish it would have went a bit differently, but this is something fun for the game of golf, and it's not trying to compete with what we do on the tour. This is a supplement to the game, and hopefully, who knows, can open some people's eyes to what's possible. I want to come in here with a group of buddies, these guys, and bring some more and just go have some fun, turn some games on the screens. It's a glorified man cave in a way.
Great. We'll go ahead and open it up for questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand and we will get you a microphone. We'll start right over here with Dan Rappaport.
You guys have all said that, you're... Hello? Yeah. You guys have all said that, when you're nervous going into a golf tournament, once you start playing, that's what you guys do. You're professional golfers, you lock in. Was there a little bit a different set of nerves going into this, knowing you were going to have to participate and kind of carry the entertainment load?
In a normal golf tournament, I think the bounce back is something that we've been doing since we were 10 years old, and so tonight was the first of its kind for us, and trying to get that point on the board seemed impossible. They played really well. I don't know what I don't know what the stats will show, but it felt like every time their ball hit the screen, it was going right at the flag, and every time our ball hit the screen, it had a little too much curve or turn on it, and we'd end up 30, 40 feet away on the wrong side of the green. But I think just learning how to bounce back in this game, and that sort of ring around the rosy where you got three of us, and try and get a good vibe going, and sort of almost maybe slow it down if we could, maybe use a little bit more of that 40 seconds or a timeout, just to, we don't really have a coach to blame, as Fitzy said earlier. Usually after a bad game, you can blame your coach, but we have no one to blame other than ourselves.
And we'll go right here in the front.
Xander, you mentioned that you got booed. You don't generally hear that in golf. How did you deal
I've
with
been booed before, yeah. I guess.
Wait, where?
How do you deal with that, though?
In Rome, I got booed.
Yeah. Rightly so.
Australia, I got booed, and Canada, I got booed, and Waste Management, I've been booed. And
all right, well, I take it back.
There we go.
But how do you deal with getting booed out there on the golf course?
Yeah, you just laugh it off. It's the same thing here. I mean, they had good reason to boo. I probably would have booed me too.
All right, we'll go right here to Luke.
How was the shot clock out there? Like, how did you adapt to that? It seemed like a few times you guys were a little rushed because of it. How did you adapt to it?
I didn't feel rushed at all. Like, I think we play quick as it is. So even yesterday was the first time I'd played with the shot clock and stuff. It was much faster than I thought, but I didn't feel like, I felt like I had time to choose my shot, and yeah, I just wish that was real golf as well.
Right here with Mark. We'll go right here to Bob.
For Rickie and Xander, where do you hope to take this thing? Obviously tonight was the first night. It was a lot of curiosity factor. The big question is, will it sustain like that? Obviously, Tiger's playing next week, but where do you hope this goes?
I mean, in a way, you have to kind of look at this as, I mean, there's a lot that's been put into it to make this possible, but it's also a little bit of a gamble or an experiment at the same time. You know, this isn't necessarily about it being great golf, or, you know, it's you want to have the fans have fun here and create a good experience, but I think the biggest driver is how it does on TV and how people view it, and if it does well there. I mean, it's kind of the sky's the limit with what you could do as far as, you know, you can put up arenas in different places. But this is just the start, and so we'll have to see how things go over, you know, the next handful of matches, and then how the feedback is, and primarily on the side of people viewing, you know, at home on, you know, ESPN or however they're getting it outside of that.
We'll go right here to Dave.
Right over here, guys.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think tonight was, I hope everything on TV went really well. I mean, in terms of having I know TV, when it's competitive, TV's better. So, I mean, I'm sure the arena produced really cool images. I've already heard a few people say it showed up pretty nice on TV, which is a great thing. And as far as you can take it, I think is as far as you can go. I mean, if this thing does really well, then, you know, you could do celebrity matches. You could get other athletes in a building like this. The fact that it takes 2 hours to play, it's quick, it's different. And so the idea, of course, is to grow, get more people to play some golf. You know, whether it's in really cold area or hot areas, like Rick said. If it's popular, you can build other stadiums and you can get people playing more golf.
Right here to Dave.
Yeah, guys, for any of you, did any of the shots, the result of any shots, surprise you where you thought it was going to be better than that? In other words, was as real as you expected it to be in terms of the outcome of shots?
Yeah, I had a lot, but probably just didn't play very well because Ludwig didn't seem to have any.
I think we have some more homework.
None of the boys, yeah. It's a little deceiving. I think you take it a little bit personally when you see your ball.
I do take it personally.
Yeah, as do I. When you see it hit the screen with a little bit of curve, we kind of already know which way it's going, and maybe we feel like it's not that far off. But, you know, if it's on the green to 45 feet from 205 yards, that's kind of where it would probably go, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it makes it worse, you know, a little bit of salt in the wound when those guys are hitting it to 5 feet on each and every hole, you know, stacking it on top of us. So, yeah, I mean, I'd say it was very accurate.
They're playing on the same system we were, so we can't say a whole lot. Oh, they had theirs dialed down, so it didn't move as much, right?
Yeah. We'll go to Bob right here.
Xander, do you feel like you get the same feedback like you would on TrackMan or whatever you use, you know, in regular golf? I mean, or is there any difference? Is anything you have to adjust to?
I mean, everything into the screen, I think, is very accurate. I think everything, the place where it gets funny is when you're chipping. I heard Tiger talking about it in my ear. When you're hitting these chips into the grain or down grain, certain areas of the turf kind of bounce a little bit more, and certain areas of the bunker, because the sand's on top of artificial turf, the way the sand compresses when you hit it, it's very different. It's much more dead than a normal bunker or like a wet bunker. So I'd say stuff around the green is where, you know, if we had a coach, he would tell us to go straight to. You know, I know we hit some weird shots early, but I'd say, you know, if I could have chipped one closer early on, put a little bit more pressure on them. Like, at no point did we put enough pressure on them. At no point did we hit, you know, I think Fitzy hit the only really good chip. Rick did as well. And then after that, we were kind of like chipping it to 9 feet, 8 feet, and then, you know, felt like I was on the Corn Ferry Tour all over again.
We'll go right here to Rex.
Matt, kind of a similar question. You mentioned making adjustments. Can you give me an example of where you feel like you had to make adjustments going forward?
Yeah, I mean, last night Ricky gave me some advice about like spot aiming just in front of me. The nice thing is you got those SoFi logos and the 3 dots. So I tried that 4 dots. Sorry.
Sorry, there's 9 of them.
9 yeah. Did that last night. I felt like it worked pretty well. I kind of probably wasn't as strict with it tonight. You know, I think I hit a couple at the end there that I felt were better. So I think probably trying a bit more of that, a bit more match practice, and then the putting side of it. You know, in the warm up, it's pretty flat, the putting green. So you're not really learning too much other than speed. I think playing the holes with the contours, that's going to be way better. You'll get more of a feel for the breaks and the speed. I think there was a few that did funky things that we didn't see, and obviously, you know, in golf, obviously, you've got background of maybe there's a cliff or whatever it may be. You can use it to kind of see and build a read. Whereas here, you're looking at the crowd, so there's nothing to kind of build anything off. And I'm reluctant to be the first person to lie down and have a look from my front. So.
We count on you to do that, Fitz.
And we have time for just a few more. We'll go in the back to Paul.
Hey guys, in stuff that we've seen mic'd up, like some of the matches, something like this, the banter is always talked about, is let's get these guys talking, and I'm just wondering, were you making an extra effort to be more vocal, to talk through things, knowing it's an entertainment product, or were you just trying to kind of do what you would normally do?
Pretty hard to talk smack. I like talking smack, but pretty hard to talk smack when you're losing by 10 points.
Yeah, we probably talked less than we potentially could have.
What we're planning, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I would say, I did 2 test matches prior to this. Last night was the only time we'd done with audio and everything going on and people around. And that was a bit more just kind of fun and messing around. We were all throwing hammer a bunch just because it was just run through. But I felt like for the most part on both sides, held pretty well with all the guys kind of speaking up and at least putting a little bit together, because it was going to probably be tough to match what we did last night just because it wasn't, playing seriously and Xander throwing hammers left and right.
Go right back here to Lindsay.
Is there a rule in TGL gameplay that you guys think could be translated realistically to traditional golf?
Shot clock.
Yeah, that'd be the
no question.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go with our last question right here to Sean.
You guys are normally teeing off at 9 a.m. and not 9 p.m. Was there any element of today that was weird or antsy, waiting until prime time to get started?
I mean, it was a bit weird, yeah. I guess I was
supposed to play in like the British.
Yeah. If you lay off, it was a little bit weird. Figuring out when to eat and stuff was a little odd.
What'd you do all day?
Not a lot. Probably should have practiced more.
I packed. We're leaving tomorrow for West Coast. Worked out and I hit some balls too, but.
All right. Well, thank you very much, New York Golf Club. We appreciate your time, and the Bay will be up here shortly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks, fellas. Thank you.